What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN today, OnyxCoin. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about it. Here we are at about 2.216 cents now on this, the 17th of February. I want to start off and look at the 1 hour time frame, which we're on right now, and look at the RSI. If we notice on the RSI, and what gives me comfort that we're probably not going lower, is that we are getting overbought. We are not getting oversold. We are in an uptrend in the RSI with these higher lows and higher highs. We're at an area that would make sense to bounce. So with the 1 hour RSI, we could go a little bit lower. We could come down. We don't have to, but we could come down a little bit more. And if we were looking at the price here, maybe, just maybe we go below this low, but I don't think we go too much lower than that low at all. I think 2.2 cents is a solid area of support, if not at least 2.19 cents, somewhere around there, right? That would be my expectation. And it would make sense that we continue to move up here, move up pretty soon. Okay, I do expect that this next move, could happen one of two ways. Maybe we get an explosive move that XCN loves to provide. Maybe it's a little bit more methodical. I don't know. I definitely had high hopes that this move here would result in more growth, rather more immediate growth, but it didn't work out that way. We actually corrected some more, and that's okay. Call this what you will. It could be quote unquote manipulation, or it could have just been somebody who put in a solid amount of XCN here at this moment. The price is just not ready to rip, so this might have been a foreshadowing of interest, and we're just yet to exact that direction of price with that interest. Does that make any sense? We closed last week in the red. We closed last week here with 3 red weeks in a row. That makes me think that we are about this week will be green. Absolutely, this week will be green. It wouldn't surprise me at all if by the end of this week we were at new relative highs. Genuinely, you guys, by the end of this week we could be at new relative highs. I'm not necessarily expecting that, but whenever you have a relative or a big move up like this, and you consolidate for 3 weeks down, 3 red weeks in a row, you can oftentimes see a pretty immediate continuation of this. It doesn't mean that this week has to go above this high, but I definitely expect this week to be green. I think that we will be not just above 3 cents, but potentially even above 4 cents by the end of this week. I really like this look here. Looking at the weekly RSI, if this week closes green, we're also getting some higher lows right here. We would be effectively going into the overbought zone, coming out of it, and bouncing essentially right on the overbought zone. Yes, I know the readings are below the overbought zone, but man, if we came down like this and bounced right here, I would call that finding support on the overbought zone, right? Just like here, you found support on the oversold zone, but did you? I mean, technically you didn't touch it, but you did. You found support right there, right? You found resistance on the overbought zone here, but did you? You went a little bit above it. So all I'm trying to say is, yes, this is a good area to close. I actually like this a lot more. I think that this can provide us some pretty solid amounts of gains in the coming weeks, coming days. If we look at the high to low here, we tipped the 2618, the double golden extension, pulled back to the 200 level itself, maintaining this, looking like we got a tweezer bottom with last week's price action, right? Tweezer bottom, it's where you get like 2 wicks, right? That's what I've heard it called. That's what I've heard it been called before, and it just stuck. Tweezer bottom. It looks like a pair of tweezers. Likely, you will rip above the 2618, and whenever you do that, you gain access to the 2886 to the 3786 kind of area here, okay? And I'm very much expecting that we obliterate this zone between 7.2 to 10 cents there. I expect that we obliterate it and we go roughly around 20 cents to 25 cents. Now, I know that this says 27 cents here, and maybe we go there. It's possible that we go there. But I think 21 to 27 is likely, or sorry, 21 to 25 is a high enough target. It's completely possible that we could also find resistance at the actual all-time high, which if you look here, that's at about 18 cents. At any rate, whatever it all means, wherever we end up being, I think that it really truthfully all starts once we get above this high. Once we get any day or week to close above the 2618, you guys, we're not stopping until we at least double from there or more. Likely more. The only fib after this 31, I can't talk, after the 3113, the only fib after that is at 20.5 cents. The only thing that's stopping you before getting to this fib here, this 3618, of which you interacted with the 2618, so maybe you go to that 3618 extension, the only thing stopping you from there is your current all-time highs. And that's a pretty big stop. You absolutely could miss this zone. It's not common that you break above this and that you don't hit the 3618, but if there was ever a reason to not hit the 3618 here, it would be this all-time high. And I want to admit, too, that I have come into this kind of... I'm not necessarily convinced of this thought, but I'm flirting with it. That XCN might stop closer to about 14 cents by the end of this move rather than 18 cents or higher, right? And the reason why I thought about this, right, is because, and it's no offense to everybody out there, myself included, right? I hold a lot of XCN. I bought in this area back here, right? The reason why I thought that we're not going to go to new all-time highs, at least not by the end of this move. I think inevitably we will. I think inevitably XCN will be worth multiple dollars. But the reason why I think that we won't go to new all-time highs by the end of this move, or why we might not go above 20 cents, is because there was a lot of opportunity, you guys, a long time where this thing was below 0.002, right? If you go above 20 cents, you're effectively giving anybody and everybody who bought below this line a 100x move in as little time, because if you bought here on this week, as little time as what I would expect is by the end of March, what would that be? 25th, I don't even know why I gave it the percentage, 25th of November to the 31st of March, so November, December, January, February, March, a 100x in 4 months, you guys. It's pretty crazy. And my reasoning for thinking that we don't go up there is that there would be a lot of profit taking, and not everybody who bought down here is going to sell the high. There will be bag holders. It will happen. There will be people that sold too early. I'm sure there's people down who bought down in this area who've already taken profits or already sold out, right? They probably sold a big part of their bag already, and good for them. If they've moved on to other projects, perfect for them. But I think, to me, going up above 20 cents, it makes it too easy for a lot of people, right? There will probably be some added selling pressure, because if you think about it, you think about the psychology of it all, there might be a vested interest. There might be a lot of selling pressure at these 100x targets that a lot of people acquired down at these lows here, right? And some of these lows, I'm talking about below 20 cents, but the lowest here was at about 0.001, right? So to 100x from the low itself, that would be at 10 cents. Now, most people didn't buy the low. In fact, most people, if they bought in this range, they probably bought the highs. So that's at about 1.5 cents. Do you see where I'm going? Or not 1.5 cents, sorry, 0.0015, which gives me reason to believe that there's there's a lot of people probably that bought below 0.002. But there's some people who will get a 100x before any of us, before it even reaches new all-time highs. They will have 100x at 14 to 15 cents. And I'm just thinking about being the average person, psychologically speaking, whoever you are, if you have a coin that does a 100x, you're probably going to take profits at that level, at that 100x level. I would. If I have any coin, I don't care if you tell me it's going to do a 200x, 300x, I'll probably take profits once I hit 100x. Why wouldn't I? I feel like I'm getting greedy at that point if I don't. I mean, maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I feel like most people who bought down here might have a reason to sell. And if they bought down here and they catch 100x, they might, what was not much down here might be a lot up here as far as dollar value goes. That could provide a rather tough barrier to break through. Okay, and the purpose of this, you guys, I'm not trying to diminish the possibilities or the capabilities of XCN. I'm addressing this, and I'm glad that I remembered to address this, because I don't want to see people get left behind. I don't want to see people sell early and miss out on all the possibilities that we can achieve. It's completely possible that XCN goes to 20 to 25 cents. I think everything in the chart suggests that. But this little voice in my head was telling me there's going to be people who get 100x before then. There's going to be people that get over 100x if we go to those targets. And that would be a lot of incentive to sell. And if you have people who loaded up the bags down at those levels, down at those low levels before we saw the recent pumps, you might have people who have some real serious incentives to sell before we even get to new all-time highs, right? That's the only thing I'm trying to offer. Now, let me offer another perspective. Let's say we do find resistance, maybe not at 11 cents, but at 14 cents. Kind of an obscure area, but also, to be completely fair, if you look at this, we go on a daily aspect, we look all the way, I think on a 4-hour aspect, it'll even look better. Let's see, we go all the way back to the way back, right? Right there at 14.3 cents. Look at this. It's kind of an obscure area, but you found support right here. You held to this before you cliff dove, and you found resistance right in this area too. Something just above 14 cents could be where we stop. Think about it like this. It doesn't stop there. Let's say it doesn't stop at 14 cents. It goes all the way up to 22 cents, 25 cents. Damn it, C-Zar. You told me it was going to stop at 14 cents. I sold, and I could have caught an extra 73%. Well, I'm sorry about the 73%, but at least, if we go all the way, way back, I could have actually just hit the arrows. At least then, you might miss 76% extra, but you would at least capitalize on 6x gains, right? Instead of being a bag holder for less. That's all I'm trying to say. And don't get me wrong, 78% extra from this line. What is that? 78%. That's like all the way up here. 78% takes this 534% move and turns it into something that's over a 1,000% move. Don't get me wrong. That's a big difference. But you would make most of your money in gains here. You would essentially just double it again from that level. And there are plenty of other crypto projects that if you took profits here, that you could put money in that will do more than a 76, 78% growth. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that to divert your attention away from XCN. In fact, the very real fact that the minimum kind of target that we're expecting is 10 cents, and that minimum target is a 4.5x away from here, that puts you ahead of the pack, right? The minimum target is a 4.5x from here. The maximum target that I can concoct is about 27 cents. That's about a 12x. So it's a very, very big range. The areas that we've been focusing on, and the reason why I'm just getting so serious here is because we have been focusing primarily, we've accepted 10 cents as the minimum target, 9.7 cents is the minimum target, but we've really been talking lately, or at least I feel like I've been talking about 18 to 25 cents. And I love that. And I think that I really do think that we have a solid chance of going there. I'm planning on selling up here if we do get up here. But I'm also going to let some go at 14 cents. And that came on. The reason, again, the whole logic behind selling at about 14 cents, there's actually, to be completely fair, there's some serendipity about the number 14. You can go ahead and read about the number 14 if you want to. I felt like it was speaking to me on that note. You've got slight significance in this rather obscure area. And then on top of that, the thing that ignited this whole train of thought is you will have a substantial amount of people who had an opportunity to buy at what would then be a 100x. And they could just take profits at the magical line of a 100x. Before any of us even got there, right? And by that metric alone, I think there will be a lot of selling pressure around these all-time highs. Maybe, maybe not. You know, if Binance is listing, I guess that selling pressure doesn't matter because Binance has more buying pressure to eat that up. So maybe we'll go to 30 cents or 40 cents. And at that case, you'll really hate me because 14 cents is where you sold. It goes all the way up to 45 cents. Damn it, C-Zar. I could have tripled my money from there. But again, even if it was to triple your money, you're probably going to correct from there. And if you sold here, you could put your money into something else that hasn't blown up already that likely sees more than a 3x anyways. So tomato, potato, whatever, man. Taking profits is taking profits. Make sure you do take profits. You got into this coin for a reason, okay? I'm not saying take profits here. In fact, I very strongly believe that we're going to go up a lot higher, guys. I really do believe in my heart that we are going to see prices above 18 cents. But I just wanted to warn you that there is a possibility that we could stop a little bit lower, and I wanted to apply my logic to that. That way, we can minimize the amount of bag holders there are. And even if you are a bag holder, even if most of your bags are not sold, at least you can take a little nibble, a little something at a key profit-taking area. And if it doesn't work out, at the worst, hopefully you're still holding some. You're not selling all of your coins, and you can continue to layer out, DCA out as you've DCA'd in. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I feel like I've been talking about selling, but nobody has to sell. Nobody has to sell at 14 cents. Nobody has to sell at 20 cents. This thing's going to go above $2, right? You don't have to sell. Take the pressure off of selling. You don't have to do. I'm just telling you that because this is what I'm going to do. This is my thoughts, my opinions, right? We're probably going to find resistance here, consolidate, and then rip. If you don't want to play the game, I don't blame you. Why would you sell at 20 cents? Why would you sell at 14 cents when this thing likely goes above $1.80? You know what I mean? I get it. I get that whole perspective. But and that's why I'm not selling everything up here, right? I'm only selling small, not a small portion, but short-term positions, and then I'm taking profits from my original position as well and reallocating into the rest of the markets. I'm still going to leave a good portion of my XCN. XCN, when it reaches those prices, wherever it is that I take profits at, it will still, after I take profits, likely be my largest bag still. So I'm not going to sell all out. I don't think anybody should. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I hope all my thoughts are clear. I feel like I'm just talking so much at this point, so I'm going to end the video. We have gone a little bit lower, actually, haven't we, since this video began? We're at about 2.2 cents now. I really do think this is one of those moments where, again, we're staring death in the face and saying, I don't care. We're going to move up. And maybe it goes a little bit lower. Maybe we could go even lower than this low here. We could go back down below 2.2, down to 2.18, 2.14. I don't know. But I don't think we go below this low. I think we're very near this relative low, and likely today we start to see some recovery. By the end of today, I would think that we see some recovery. XCN seems to only want to move at one pace whenever it's moving up, and that's at a rather fast pace. So we very well could be, maybe not by the end of today, but by the end of tomorrow or the next day, we really could be above 3 cents. I expect that we will be above 3 cents by the end of this week, above 4 cents even by the end of this week, going into new relative highs above 5 cents by the end of the month, pressing for targets that are above 10 cents, hopefully above 20 cents by the end of March. That's all I got for you. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I'll see you on the next one. That was the intro. Let's get into it. Bye-bye.